So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with episode 2 of our prospect rebuild series. Today's going to be the Washington Wizards and Zaccharie Risacher. I'd like to start this off by saying pardon my French, literally and figuratively. Of course, many of you are aware I am absolutely terrible with names, and Zaccharie here's last name is no exception to that. So, today we got the Washington Wizards. Many people are assuming he's going to be the number 2 overall pick, and what many have considered a not-so-great draft class. We've seen comparisons for him. Someone like Franz Wagner, kind of in that neighborhood if he can kind of hit all the leaps and bounds that he could possibly. So overall wise, he's not necessarily a bad player. The Wizards only won 15 games last season. They ended up with the number 2 overall pick. Maybe he will be their Lord and Savior because God knows they need it. Of course, as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. We're having a really good kind of bouncing back and forth between the offseason rebuilds, prospect rebuilds. Of course, I don't want to stop doing the challenges or the throwback rebuilds. So anything you guys want to see, make sure to let me know down below in the comment section. Very excited for this one today. Let's get into it. As I mentioned in my first prospect rebuild, the way these are going to go for pre-draft prospect rebuilds, it's just going to be 3 seasons, the way we pretty much do all off-season rebuilds. Post-draft, once we know where everybody actually ends up, that's when we'll do some 5 years. So I know many people were asking in my video the other day. That's the plan, at least for now. All right, so we're here in off-season number 1. As you can see, we've obviously already simulated through a lot of this, and the reason for that is because I had to set the draft order. So now I have one saved file that I use every single time for one of these videos. So what I guess we'll start out with is talking about this Wizards roster. Obviously, only winning 15 games, something is obviously not working. There's a lack of talent here. That's rather obvious. And it is time for a rebuild. So let's get into it. Tyus Jones, certainly a serviceable role player. In terms of him maybe being the starting point guard on this team, I don't know if that's going to be the case for the entirety of the video, but he's certainly an enticing option as he does enter free agency. Jordan Poole, who came over in an offseason trade with the Golden State Warriors, Atlanta Golden State Chris Paul. He's an 80 overall. He's obviously still young at only 25. He is an NBA champion, and as much as it pains me to say it because my Celtics lost to the Warriors, he was really good in that playoff run and especially that final. So I'm not giving up hope just yet, but I don't love the contract, and I know how his development typically does go anyway. Jared Butler's only 23. If maybe he can develop a little bit more, maybe he'll crack the rotation at some point in time. Corey Kispert, obviously a good three-point shooter. I don't really know how much higher his ceiling is from what we're seeing right now, but he's certainly still a very serviceable and pretty decent player. Bilal Coulibaly was their first-round pick last year, number 7 overall. Has certainly shown a little bit of promise, and he's somebody that definitely could be one of the building blocks here for me today. Obviously, a tremendously talented defensive player. We got to see if that offense kind of take next step. Landry Shamet, I don't know. I guess maybe can be a piece at some point in time. Johnny Davis, I will say this. It's not very often, I've said this before, and actually many people have as well, it's not very often you get, an old-fashioned draft bust that just sucks. Like, typically, you look at the draft busts of today, say, like a Markelle Fultz, like, maybe you can say injuries kind of, wore on him and all that stuff. Johnny Davis just sucks, and I'm not saying he's unfixable. I think the Wizards as a whole are not a place for a project like him, but yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with Johnny Davis today. Denny Avdia, I like a lot. I love the contract here. He's certainly somebody we can work with today. I don't know if he'll be starting, especially, when we do draft Risacher, so we'll figure it out, but I do like him quite a bit. Kyle Kuzma is a interesting option for us here at the power forward spot. His name got put around in some trade rumors at the deadline, then I'm pretty sure he was the one himself that said he didn't want to go anywhere. So I don't know. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to. Man's getting paid a lot of money. He already has a ring. Why not just ride it out in D.C. where there's no expectations? Anthony Gill and then Patrick Baldwin Jr. probably won't be in the rotation for me too much today. And then the center spot, they traded away Daniel Gafford over to the Dallas Mavericks at the deadline. He has looked absolutely fantastic for Dallas. I guess that kind of helps when you're playing next to Luka. But again, this is going to be a little bit of a hole for us today. No disrespect to Marvin Bagley or Rashawn Holmes or Tristan Vukcevic or Amore. I just don't really think any of these guys are really the answer for us at the center position. So I know we maybe could draft a center, or maybe say Donovan Clingan at number 2 overall, but I'm not going to do that. It's a Risacher, or however the hell you pronounce it, rebuild today. So staff signing, Brian Keefe, I don't know. I guess I'll let him ride out the final year because he replaced... Who's their head? I'm already blanking on the name. I should have known this, but he was a mid-season replacement, correct? I think so anyways. So he has 1 year left. The ratings are decent. I'll let him ride it out, and we'll make a decision next offseason. All right, so up to the draft. Atlanta obviously very much locked in with a 3% chance of the number 1 overall pick. I'm assuming they take Sarr. I hope they don't take Risacher. I'm just going to take him, and then swap them if they do, but Let's just find out. Don't screw me. Come on now. Okay, they take Ron Holland. Fine by me. All right, so we're going to take Risacher here at the number 2 overall pick. And then we actually do have another first-round pick as well. I think it's number 28, no, number 26. And then I don't know about the second-round picks. Those aren't updated. It's just the first round. So I'm not going to actually use the second-round pick. I'll just trade it away. So we will be using both of our first, though. We're going to take Risacher right now, and then I don't know who's going to be sitting there for us at 26. It's just the Zach prospect rebuild. It's not going to be 2 of them. So Carlton Carrington is here. Could be a nice point guard option. Devin Carter, the Providence product. EJ Wagner sitting here. Dun Chamche. Awesome name. Justin Edwards in here. Wasn't he way higher at one point in time? I don't know. I'm going to take Devin Carter. Certainly going to go ahead and add him to this team. I'm a New England guy. I always like Providence players. So Risacher is going to be, obviously a new starter for us. And then Devin Carter can maybe crack the rotation at some point in time. All right, so Richaun Holmes, unsurprisingly, picks up his nearly $13 million player option. I'll pick up Baldwin and then Johnny Davis as well, just because obviously not a realistic rebuild. So qualifying offers, Jared Butler. I'll qualify Champagne here as well. I'm just going to move on, I think. I mean, I can only bring back so many guys, right? It wasn't working. Why would I bring back a bunch of guys that clearly were not contributing to any sort of winning? So we might have a little bit of money to spend here in free agency. I don't necessarily think this is the number one offseason to do that. Doesn't really feel like the smartest idea in the world. It's something we are also going to have to fix. As you can see, our 2025 first is not here, and obviously that's just 2K on their bullshit, but I will read off to you Washington's first-round pick to New York. Protected selections 1 through 12 in 2024. Obviously, it was number 2, meaning they get to keep it here. Not how it works here in 2K. They always just send the next year's first. It's not how it works in real life. It's protected 1 through 10 in 2025 and 1 through 8 in 2026. And if not, it just turns into a second-round pick in 26 and 27. So if we're 1 through 10 next year, or was it 1 through 10? 1 through 10, I'm already fucking forgetting. 1 through 10 next year, then we're going to take our pick back. If not, I will just give it away to New York. So that's where we're at right now. I think there is possibly 1 or 2 trades coming. We're looking for a little bit of an upgrade at our center position. I doubt many of you are surprised by that, but Mitchell Robinson would obviously be a significant improvement from what we have right now. Maybe, hypothetically, New York wants to go with Hartenstein moving forward. I don't really know. It's not realistic anyways. Richaun Holmes is in here to make the money work, and for God knows what reason, Johnny Davis is 2 stars in value. At one point in time, he was actually 3, so I guess credit to 2K for turning that down a little bit. But Robinson's only 2.5, hypothetically. Okay, well, Mitchell Robinson, welcome to DC. I know he's not, Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or anybody like that, but he's certainly an elite defensive center. He can catch some lobs. He's definitely an upgrade from what we had. So I'm not planning to, try to compete here in year 1. I want to be bad. I want my draft pick. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think I'm actually going to let Jordan Poole kind of take the reins right now. And then as Tyus Jones, we are able to get him back. So I'm going to pay Tyus Jones. There's no reason to let a good player, one of the only good players we actually had, kind of walk out the door for nothing. So I'm going to pick up but I'm going to re-sign Tyus Jones. And then I guess him and Jordan Poole will compete for the starting point guard. I honestly might just go with whatever 2K says. So the little bit of a situation I guess we're in right now is that we have a little bit of a logjam here at the shooting guard spot. Now, obviously, Landry Shamet's kind of out of the equation for who I'm starting, but part of me wants to start Coulibaly just because I do think the ceiling's definitely higher than what we had here with Kispert. So that's a decision we'll have to make, but I certainly also want to get Devin Carter some minutes at some point in time. So he might spend year 1 in the G League. Obviously, we're going to have Risacher start. Avdija will come off the bench. I do have to find myself a backup power forward, and then we're good here at the center spot. We'll trade away the rest of the guys for draft picks. So let's see who we can find here. If I move on from Shamet, and then I'll actually do Vukcevic and Baldwin, can I just get some sort of power forward? Again, doesn't need to be anybody like super elite. Actually getting some pretty decent offers here, none of which are actually power forwards, but they are certainly decent enough players. All right. Not exactly what I was looking for there. How about if I just do Shamet? Can I get a draft pick? I'll actually take a power forward as well. Maxi Kleba, I see there. Jack Londale. Yeah, I don't really love any of these options. So, you know what? Who are my options here in free agency from a power forward perspective? I get Haywood Highsmith quite a bit. I'll try to lean off that. But Caleb Martin, Eastern Conference Finals Celtics killer, is certainly an upgrade from what we have right now with Patrick Baldwin. So we're going to sign him to a 2-year contract. He'll take over, backing up Kyle Kuzma. And then moving forward, it will be Bagley. I know he is expiring, backing up Robinson. And then Vukcevic, however the hell you pronounce it, and Amorier are probably going to be on their way out. What I'm actually going to do is hang on to Baldwin just because he has the team option. And then Shamet actually has a team option as well. I mean, if I can get some draft picks that maybe are remotely valuable, is Vukcevic actually promising? I don't know. No, I'm good. I'll take the draft picks if I can get it. So anybody want to offer me literally anything? I don't know. Thank you very much, Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, that's a fantastic trade. And then we'll do one more with Amorier. And actually, that might be it. Yeah, that'll be it. All right, Eugene Amorier. Let's just see what our final trade's going to be. Thank you very much. Utah, I will take. It's actually a Timberwolves draft pick, so we're all good there. All right, this is going to be the team for year one. I know it's obviously not fantastic, and there's a very good chance that we are bad, but I think that's probably the best kind of way to go about this rebuild. So see you guys at the start of year one. It's year one for us here in DC. We didn't have the craziest offseason. We made a couple moves to hopefully improve this team in the long run, but we are ready to go here for what is probably going to be a very bad first season. Tyus Jones is going to start. It's what the game suggested. I don't really care who starts between him and Poole. Doesn't really affect me whatsoever. I am starting Coulibaly. That's not what the game suggests. They suggest that I go ahead and start Kispert. As I mentioned last offseason, I think the ceiling is significantly higher here for Coulibaly, and I want to try to maximize that. So we're just going to play 34 minutes a night. Same thing with Risacher here at the small forward spot. We want them to hit all of that potential that we know they possibly can. So they're both playing the most minutes. I understand it's maybe the not so smart thing with rookies or second-year players, but who cares? It's 2K. Kuzma will be here starting at the 4, and then obviously new addition here with Mitchell Robinson as our starting center. Now, I will say, this team's not good, but the bench is pretty talented. Denny Avdia is going to be my sixth man here. Corey Kispert, the game suggests I start both of them. I'm going to start neither of them. Now, that typically doesn't work too well for me, but I'm banking on the young Frenchman that we got here. I really do think they can be something special for us. Jordan Poole, how the mighty have fallen down to 16 minutes a night as our 8th man off the bench. Marvin Bagley, and then Caleb Martin, who we signed out of free agency from the Miami Heat. So this team, again, we're not going to be good. We're not trying to be good. I want to be bad. I want my draft pick, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys at what is going to be the end of a very painstaking year number one. Year one comes to an end, and for that I am thankful. We wrap up the first regular season with a record of 20-62, and I mean, we were hoping to be bad. We got exactly what we wanted. So I think there's a very safe chance that we end up getting our draft pick back. Luke is your MVP. Risacher, rookie. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was looking for. This is why we play our number 2 draft pick 34 minutes a night. Beautiful rookie season. I mean, the shooting splits aren't great. I can live with the rest of the numbers, though. Bobby Portis, your 6th man of the year. It's cool to see. You know, I know Bobby Portis is always in the conversation for 6th man of the year, but he's never in it in 2K. So very happy. I love the fucking picture with the glasses on. It's awesome. Wemby's your deep boy. Wiseman, now in New York, maybe a potential replacement for Mitchell Robinson, who we obviously traded for. Most improved. Steph Curry, clutch player of the year once again. Jason Kidd is your coach of the year there in Dallas. So clearly the playoffs are not going to be something we're participating in. What were we here? We were dead last, and we had the worst record in the league. Cooper Flag sweepstakes, anybody? We'll find out. All right, here's a look at the numbers. Let's see how everybody played throughout the course of the regular season. Kyle Kuzma, 25, 6, and 3. You know, I'm just going to say it right now. We win those Cooper Flag sweepstakes, might be able to get something pretty valuable for Kuz. Risacher was our number 2 scorer. Then it was Tyus Jones. I was happy we started him. Jordan Poole off the bench. That's actually pretty impressive from Poole, I'll say. I mean, the man only played 16 and a half minutes a game, and he was our 4th leading scorer. So how'd he shoot from 3? Okay, well, that's not great. But other than that, I'll take it. And this team is not about efficiency. Coulibaly did play 34 minutes a night. You know, there is certainly, you know, a little bit of an improvement there in the scoring department. A couple more, well, one more rebound, basically. But overall-wise, it's still not really a great offensively. So we'll consider everything going into the offseason. I don't want to trade him, but we'll see. Denny Avdia, Marvin Bagley, Mitchell Robinson, Marvin Bagley, Kispert, and then Martin. Rebounds per game was led by Robinson, and then assist was Tyus Jones. So let's sim through the playoffs. Hopefully, maybe we'll be participating next year. Who the hell knows? Let's sim through the rest of this right now. It is going to be a Nuggets and a 76ers finals. Can you imagine watching these two go up against each other in a 7-game series? It'd be awesome. Nuggets sweep, and Nikola Jokic is your finals MVP. Everything was great except for the 3-point shooting. All right, we head into off-season number 2. Obviously, we kind of have to pick and choose our battles in terms of development because this is only a 3-year rebuild. I understand, and if you want 5, they are coming, I promise. LeBron calls it a career. Unfortunately, cannot override it. I already did after year number 1. Or, well, you guys never saw it, but you get it. So that's unfortunate, but LeBron calling it a career. It is certainly a Hall of Fame one. Frank Vogel also calling it a career. Hall of Fame inductees, Mr. LeBron. Jersey retirements, LeBron. And now our moment of truth. It's going to say the pick's going to go... well, to Houston's a little strange, but it's going to be our pick. It's our pick, no matter where it lands, if it's in the top 10. So we also have a Utah pick that looks like it's going to be in the top 10. So that could be really good. I'm really concerned about where our pick's going to land. And it falls to 4. That sucks. I'm going to take it back, and then I'll just give our first next year, and I'll do all that, and then I'll see you guys with whatever's next, because we also have the 9th overall pick, which is cool. Oh, staff signing. I'll show you guys that quick. All right. I wouldn't be mad moving in a different direction. There are certainly some talented coaches out here. I'll make an offer to Stauffer, as I always do, but I'd like to get somebody different this time, so I'll make an offer. Let's see. I want to try to make an offer to Mark Daignault. He's a very good head coach, in my opinion, and then I'll offer Joe Mazzulla. You can call it my Celtics bias. As long as we get one of these three, I'm good. We're getting none of them. All right, let's see some other names here. I think Jacob Underwood certainly could be a guy we're interested in. I know the ratings aren't necessarily great. Ooh, Will Hardy also sitting here. Taylor Jenkins as well. All right, we're going to offer all three of these guys contracts. Hopefully it goes a little differently than the first round when we did that. I'll offer Jenkins. We'll just kind of give him a max, if you will, from what our spending budget is, and then we'll do the same here with Will Hardy. So I just need one of them. I don't really care who it is. We get Will Hardy. That's fine. I know we're technically declining these, but if we look at the ratings, I think Hardy's are a little bit better. All right, we will take Will Hardy. Welcome to DC. He's going to be my new head coach. He's the former head coach of the Utah Jazz and former Celtics assistant, I will say. All right, so we're up to the draft. Let me get my pick back. I'll see you guys in there. I got my draft pick back. I just sent out my future first next year, made it top 10 protected. I think it's only top 8, but you get it. I'll fix it if it's wrong. We are going to try to make a trade with the Memphis Grizzlies. Got a little lucky in the lottery, ended up with number 1 overall. I wanted Cooper Flagg. It's been my plan the entire time. We did it right in terms of tanking, just got a little unlucky in the lottery. So what is it going to cost me in order to get this draft pick? I'd like to hang on to number 9. I'm sure there's a few players I could possibly include in this deal. I just got to figure out who's under contract. That could be kind of the issue. So I'd be willing to go up Caleb Martin. Wouldn't be missing much. The man only played 10 minutes a night. I might be willing to give up Devin Carter. Now, I think there would be a role on this team for Devin Carter next year. But if it's going to land me Cooper Flagg, I'm certainly able to move on, especially because we have these two guys ahead of them, so they can't afford it. God damn it. All right, well, it might just be draft picks then at this point. I don't really know what else I can offer. As you can see, our 2024, or 2026, first is no longer here. Thunders probably won't be that valuable. And then can I get it done with like a second? Will you take that? No. All right, it's going to take at least one more first, which kind of sucks, but I'll give up the Timberwolves one. They agree. All right, I know we paid a hefty price. I probably could have given up number 9 as well, and maybe given up a little bit less on the back end, but I'll live with it. Who cares? So we're having 2 top 10 draft picks here. That's kind of big. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is going to be our number 1 guy, and then let's see. Oh, yeah, no, he is going to Duke. I don't know why I thought he was going to UConn. I'm not very familiar with the rest of this draft class, so I think Carter Bryant, who I can see is a 76 overall and very highly rated. I also see Ian Jackson, but from a position of need standpoint, that's really not the biggest. SN does rank him number 2, though. I don't need a shooting guard. I don't need a small forward. It's hard to kind of put that into perspective. I'm taking Carter Bryant. Maybe it's the wrong pick. I don't really know, but he's going to be my guy. All right, Flagg is an 80. Bryant is a 76. We have Coulibaly. We have Patrick Baldwin Jr. I'm thinking it is now the time to kind of swing for the fences. It is certainly the time to try to go out and make a significant improvement to this team. Now, do we have any money here? Not really, unfortunately. Most of that is, unfortunately, Jordan Poole making $32.5 million. But I do think there's a way to upgrade this team, and I'm going to look for that right now. Okay. Made a very big trade. I added LaMelo Ball to this team. I paid a very, very hefty price, but let me explain to you why I did that. I gave up Jordan Poole. I gave up Kyle Kuzma. I gave up Devin Carter, 2 first-round picks, and Patrick Baldwin Jr. But I got us LaMelo Ball, who's an absolute superstar, especially in this game. And ultimately, my thought process on kind of going about it this way is Jordan Poole's, he's a negative asset. He makes way too much goddamn money. He's not very good. I know he was our 4th scoring option while only playing 16 minutes. But in order to get LaMelo Ball, I give him up 10 times out of 10. And then I didn't love the idea of giving up Kyle Kuzma, but I can live with it because we did just draft Cooper Flagg. So I kind of wanted to split both those guys up and see if we can improve the shooting guard spot as well. But I'm going to give Corey Kispert and Bilal Coulibaly kind of another year to be my 2 guys there. So we're good pretty much everywhere else. Obviously, Flagg and Bryant now have the majority of the minutes at the power forward spot. And then I wouldn't hate bringing back Marvin Bagley. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So Kispert only wants about $12.5 million, and Bagley wants just under $9.5. So I'll live with those 2 deals. That is going to be it. That's a trade exception. That is going to be it in terms of like major trades. We don't actually really have a lot of other assets right now, unfortunately, but we certainly should be better next season, and maybe not contending, but you understand what I'm saying. I'll see you guys there. I am very interested to see how this second season is going to go here in DC. We obviously made a huge trade this offseason with the Charlotte Hornets, landing us LaMelo Ball, and we certainly paid a hefty price for that. But when you look at really what we gave up outside of the draft picks, just talking about the players right now, those guys weren't winning, right? We had a formula here. It wasn't working. We decided to mix it up a little bit. I'm excited. It's going to be LaMelo Ball. I'm starting Coulibaly at the 2. for a couple reasons. First and foremost, I still have some faith in him. Not saying I don't have any faith in him after last season, but there's certainly some reason to be a little skeptical about that decision because Kispert is a really good player and a really good shooter. I'm starting Koulibaly because I think there's more offensive output in this backcourt now with LaMelo Ball. That makes a little bit of logical sense to me. LaMelo Ball, also not known as the greatest defensive player in the world, so maybe we add Koulibaly next to him. He helps out. I don't know if it's going to work. It's my thought process. This is certainly going to be his last season in the starting lineup. If it does not go well, though, you get it. Risacher still starting here at my small forward spot. Funny enough, the game doesn't want me to start him. They want me to start Avdia. I'm not going to do that after, the guy just won Rookie of the Year, but thank you for the recommendation. Cooper Flagg, who just took number 1 overall, obviously our starting power forward, then Mitchell Robinson still here as our starting center. The bench unit's really good. Avdia is going to be my 6th man. Tyus Jones moves into a bench role now, playing 18 minutes a night. Got Corey Kispert still here on the bench. Marvin Bagley, who we brought back, and then Carter Bryant, who we drafted 9th overall. Only getting 10 minutes a night, but ultimately it's a really good bench, so kind of got to live and you got to learn. So I don't know if this team's a playoff team. I'd like to think that it is, but never know. We'll find out together. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. I've seen a lot of things in my 6+ years of making content here on 2K. This might be a first. This team won 67 games. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea how. I have a pretty strong feeling we're going to get bounced in the playoffs in either the first or second round, but to go through the regular season winning 67 games with this team might be just the surprise of the century. So, I'm certainly going to take it. I'm not mad about it because I've had super teams win like 45 games and then I'm pissed about it. But it's just weird that this was the group that did it. I don't know. Maybe everybody just fits really well together. I don't know. Jokic, your MVP. Cooper Flagg does win Rookie of the Year. He was obviously really, really good and a very important factor for why that ended up happening. I'm very happy I decided to trade up and get him. Julius Randle is not starting. He is your 6th man of the year in New York. Wemby is your depoy. Jalen Hood-Schifino, most improved. Steph Curry, oh my God, 37 points a game at 38 years old. That's absolutely insane. Will Hardy does win Coach of the Year. So, you got to give him some credit too. I'm kind of at like a certain level of mild shock, right? Why is this the team that wins 67 games? Like when I tell you I have like the merchants of death sometimes on my teams and I struggle to win like 50 games with the most talented players you've ever seen in your life. I mean it. But this is the group. LaMelo Ball and the Funky Bunch is getting it done here and they're winning 67. Okay. You get my point. We had far and away the best record in the league. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit and take a look at who led us in scoring. That was LaMelo Ball. Fantastic season out of him. He should have been in the MVP conversation. I know Jokic probably had better numbers, but 27.5 points, 5 boards, 8 assists, while leading his team to 67 wins. It's MVP for me. Cooper Flagg, Risacher, Avdia, Jones, Koulibaly, Bagley, Robinson, Kispert, and Bryant. Right now, I'm kind of the mindset, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If this team goes on to make some serious noise in the playoffs, we might just run it back. But we obviously got to get there first. It is the Atlanta Hawks who ended up taking Ron Holland number 1 overall in the 2024 draft. And this is a really good team. Obviously, they weren't bad enough to really get the number 1 overall pick. They just got extremely lucky in the draft lottery. So that core remains pretty much the same. We are currently down 2-1. Okay, this is kind of my worst fear coming true. And we do win in 6. All right, so we get out of round 1. Now it's the Indiana Pacers here in round 2. You got 2 really good point guards going up against each other. And am I crazy for saying that our core might be better? Now, I don't want to sit here and disrespect Ben Mathurin, Siakam, Miles Turner. They're all fantastic players in their own, but I don't know. I like our chances here. I'm not going to lie to you. So we quickly go 1-1 with them, go down 2-1, down 3-1. Yeah, that's the end of the road. All right, so maybe a bit of a fake season for us, if you want to call it that. It's certainly not bad considering where we were at last season, just from a playoff run perspective. But you can see everybody's numbers kind of went down as the rounds went on, and it's disappointing. It's not really surprising, but we still have some decisions to make this offseason as we enter a championship or bust final season. Jalen Brunson is a member of the Orlando Magic, and he is carrying them along with Paolo Banchero to a finals matchup against his old friend Luka Doncic. And wow, it's a 7-game series. Paolo's your finals MVP. All right, it is time for the final offseason. Obviously, that was a really good regular season and a not-so-fun postseason, but I will take it. So now there are some big decisions to be made. Obviously, we're not going to have our draft pick, which is fine by me. Did I trade for anything else? I don't see any Wizards logos, so let's just skip through this. Oh, good. Magic just won the finals. Give them the number 1 overall pick. Why the hell not? Staff signing here. We're obviously very happy with the job Will Hardy did. It's disappointing to lose as a 1 seed in round 2, but I can live with it. We have 3 second-round picks, none of which are really useful to me at all. So I hate how hard this game makes it to trade second-round picks. It is legitimately one of my biggest pet peeves about this game, and that says a lot because there are a lot of pet peeves. All right, so no draft picks. Risacher, Koulibaly, both will be coming back here. Qualifying offers, we have none. I know we're not going to have any money here in a very, very good free agency class. Mitch is kind of our only free agent. He wants a decent chunk of change, but he's very much worth it for me. And now it kind of comes down to, do we want to make any changes? I think we have to make at least one. I'm going to go on the fact that that was maybe a strong overachievement of a season versus, this team is really for real right now. So at least one big change will come in. We're talking to the Portland Trailblazers right now. We're going to see if we can maybe add Shaedon Sharpe to this team. He'd be a significant upgrade at the shooting guard spot. Look, there was nothing wrong with Koulibaly. I think he does fit relatively well next to LaMelo Ball from what we were expecting, but we got to make upgrades in terms of overalls, and it's going to cost us a lot, but got to go all in. Corey Kispert, he's kind of the odd man out right now. And then Tyus Jones is certainly a very good and nice luxury to have off our bench, but in order to get a starter, I'm always giving up bench pieces, and that same thing can be said about Bagley. So I don't know what I have for draft picks here. I have my 2027 first. Not really much value there. And then I have a 2030 first. Okay, wow, they agree to it. All right, I'll take it. Obviously happy to get that upgrade there. Now our thing is finding a backup point guard and a backup center because we just gave ours away. Wow, Bronny James is sitting here? Is this 41-year-old? Oh, my God. Retired, dude. I'll take a little flyer here on Bronny James. I don't really know why he's a free agent, but certainly let him maybe run some backup point guard for us. And then the center spot, oh boy, this is kind of what I was nervous about. I knew the options weren't going to be great. You all might get mad at me, but I'm going to do a sign and trade with Luke Kennard. I know nobody likes it. It's just going to have to be something we live with heading into this final season, so I'm going to make it a little worse too. All right, let's see what we can do here for a backup center. If I move on from Luke Kennard and a couple second-round picks, we're completely out of first. So I need a center. It's going to be somebody, Vince Williams Jr. I don't really have a spot for him, but nice, I can actually get him if I wanted to. Rocky Zaccharie. He's a player I've traded for before just because he has a cool name, and quite honestly, he might be our best option. How tall is Tumani Kamara? He's only 6'7". No way. All right, Rocky Zaccharie. I mean, you're playing 10 minutes a night. Who really cares? But I'll live with it. We'll see you guys at the start of the third and final regular season. We decided to call last season what it very likely was. It was a Cinderella run. We kind of overachieved throughout the entirety of the regular season, and as insane as it is to say that, we decided it wasn't good enough. We had to make an upgrade, and we did exactly just that, adding Shaedon Sharpe to this backcourt next to LaMelo Ball, and it is a very, very talented backcourt. So I'm super excited to see what this team can do. The talent is here. We now have a little bit more experience as well, even though we are still relatively young. Risacher here is still going to be my starting small forward. I know the minutes and the overall don't say it, but if I auto-set this rotation, it starts Avdia over him. I don't know why. Cooper Flag here is my starting power forward. Had an absolutely insane rookie year. Won Rookie of the Year. He's our second straight winner of that award. And I need him to take another step if we want to continue some dominance and hopefully bring that dominance into the postseason. Then Mitchell Robinson as our starting center. I like this fit a lot just because he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to be obviously very effective. And then on the defensive end, he's super talented as well. So I'm excited about this starting five. Bench unit's still pretty decent. We obviously took some hits, made this team a little more top-heavy, but ultimately still got really talented players off this bench. Starting out with Denny Avdia here. Bilal Koulibaly now shifts into a bench role. He had a pretty good season next to LaMelo. He did his job from what we were kind of hoping for, but we had to get him better. We did. There's nothing wrong with Koulibaly or the way that he played, but we needed an improvement. I'm happy we're not trading him, but he's going to the bench. Carter Bryant, who we drafted 9th overall, seeing an uptick in his minutes. He's up to 15. He'll be our 8th man. We got Bronny James, who we signed out of free agency. He was just sitting there and said, why the hell not? And then Rocky Zaccharie, who is now up to a 75 overall. I don't really know much about him, but he has a cool name, and he's playing 10 minutes a night, so who the hell cares? I will see you guys at the end of the final regular season, hopefully with another really strong record. We asked for it last season. We get it this year. LaMelo Ball is your MVP. And yeah, the numbers are great. Record is even better. 73-9. It was certainly not on my bingo card when I started this rebuild that this team could possibly tie the greatest record in the history of the sport. But here we are. And, we improved the roster and we improved the record. And hopefully we're going to improve the playoff run as well. Oh my God, he was 46%. God damn. Cameron Boozer is your Rookie of the Year. He is in Utah. Jalen Williams is now a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm surprised. Did they make another notable Clippers and Thunder trade? I don't know. Wemby, your Depoy. Nikola Topic, most improved. Steph Curry, again, let's just rename the award to the Steph Curry Award. And it is a second straight coach of the year for Will Hardy. So 73-9 will certainly do that. I am very happy with the way things are going with this team right now. And after last season, a little bit of a fluke, maybe a little bit of a Cinderella run, We are ready to prove that we are for real this time. Cooper Flagg's a fucking monster. Zaccharie Risacher up to 18.5 points a game. Really like seeing the jump out of his game here in the third year. Avdia, Bryant, James, Robinson, Zaccharie, and Koulibaly. So rebounds was Mitch, and then assists was LaMelo. So here goes nothing in round one. It is us and the Celtics. Damian Lillard is now a Celtic. What? We see the regression there in terms of overall and some of the numbers, but he's still Damian Lillard. And what the fuck? How is this an 8 seed? God damn it, 2K. If you take me out by my favorite team, shot me with my own damn bullet, and we're not going to have to worry about that because we should... Okay. Toronto here in round 2. Quickly, Dick... Okay. Sorry. Emmanuel Quickly, Grady Dick. Lauri Markkanen's a nice addition here. Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. A lot of size in this starting 5. They're probably a little bit of a challenge. I don't think they're better than the Celtics team we just swept. So, okay. Are we just going to run through this conference? What the hell, man? And then the team... What? What is going on in this rebuild, right? What is going on? All right, well, the team that drafted Luka, the Atlanta Hawks, obviously the infamous draft night trade they made with the Dallas Mavericks to swap Trae Young and Luka Doncic, they did a 180 on it, and Luka is now back here in Atlanta for, well, he never actually played. You get it. I don't know if they traded Trae Young for him. I highly doubt you can trade for Luka, so maybe they just signed him out of free agency and said, take a hike, Trae. I wouldn't blame you if you did that, but are we... What the fuck is this? It is us and the Thunder. As I'm sure many of you are aware, the Thunder are always the biggest pain in the ass when you have to face them. Now, they did lose Jalen Williams. They have Jacoby Walter, OG, Caleb Wilson in here. SGA is a fantastic player, but we got an MVP. Are we not going to lose a game? Oh, my God. Are we going to go through this entire playoff run without losing a game? I'm literally, I'm not technically speechless, but like I feel like I should be. All right, maybe we'll drop one. We're going to drop one. I honestly am not mad about that because there's no way this team can go through a playoff run without losing a game. So, all right, we're here in Game 5 on our home floor. We are just running the Thunder out of our own building, and we're going to be winning a championship here in the final regular season. So we got a couple shots up. Let's talk about the Wizards. All righty, we are here in D.C. at Capital One Arena, and we are about to gentlemen sweep the Wizards. We lost one playoff game throughout this run, and it's absolutely insane. I think it would be a safe bet that the Wizards rebuild that has been going on for a little while now is not going to go like this over the next 3 seasons. I'm very, very surprised that we were able to get this done like this. Look, I certainly didn't want to go into this rebuild without championship expectations because what's the point of the goddamn rebuild? What the fuck just happened? If you're not going to do that. And I had championship expectations. I just thought it was going to take, a little bit more. Right? I thought offseason number 2, I was going to make like 2 or 3 major moves and kind of completely blow up this young core. And ultimately, I didn't have to do that. I mean, the LaMelo Ball trade kind of started it off. And then the Shaedon Sharpe deal certainly helped a bunch. But what is going on? I'm getting bitched right now. All right, jump ball? I don't really know. This is a Wizards team and a Wizards core right now that desperately needs that face of the franchise. And right now, they just don't have that. And it's very unfortunate for them. I'm never going to say unfortunate is the wrong word because I'm never going to say it's unfortunate to have the number 2 overall pick. I don't care what the draft looks like. We all know damn well that we're going to look back at this draft in 5 years and be like, oh, well, everybody thought it was a dog shit draft. There's going to be some superstar that comes out of it. When was the last time there was a draft that not at least one superstar didn't come out of? Right? I'm sure somebody will find it. Is that team going to be the Wizards based on history? Probably not. But the Wizards really need to find the face of their franchise. So I don't know if they're in the market to maybe make a big move this offseason. Obviously, the ideal target would be somebody who's relatively young with some team control. But that's not really something you find yourself in too often, right? People and teams don't trade faces of franchises that are really young. So I don't know what the Wizards are going to do. I would say, don't do it. And don't, you got to go through the process. I know it's been a while since they've been competitive, but it's just, am I getting bitched right now? I am. I'm not even really locked in. The Wizards really need to, remain focused. I hope they have the right leadership in place in that front office and, in that coaching staff. And it is what it is. I mean, the Wizards have, not been a very competitive franchise, and, hasn't been a decade, but it's been certainly a long amount of time. And, I don't think people really care about the Wizards, as sad as it is, except for Wizards fans. And I know that's kind of a crazy statement, but it's just a weird situation they're in, right? Because we think a lot of these really, really bad teams, like you look at the Pistons, you got Cade Cunningham there. I mean, you just think of like a lot of the teams. Oh, wait, what was that? You think a lot of the teams like at the bottom of the Western Conference, like a lot of them at least like have a guy that they're going with going forward. And do the Wizards have that right now? I don't know. So, I mean, I guess maybe like a team like the Utah Jazz doesn't really have that, but or maybe marketing, I guess. Who cares? I'm going off course. This is a Wizards team that needs to find an identity. They need to find some superstar talent, and I hope they can soon because I feel bad for those fans. That owner's a prick, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not going to sit through the free throw fest here that the Thunder call basketball, so I'll see you guys in the Finals MVP. It's a championship. It is exactly what we've been waiting for, and LaMelo Ball is your Finals MVP. So this was a very, we just talked about it a bunch, a very, very interesting rebuild. It was obviously the Zaccharie Risacher, or however the hell you pronounce it. I'm sure I've been butchering it the entire video. I'm terrible with names, you all know that. But this took a direction that I wasn't necessarily planning for. I'm sure many of you are aware, but I like to mentally prepare and kind of plan out my rebuilds a little bit, the way I think each season is going to go, who I could potentially target in drafts and free agency and trades and all that stuff. And this one took a turn that I was not expecting, but we got thrown a curveball. We hit a goddamn grand slam. I'll just say that right there. So that's it for me in this one. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. We're always open to any other ideas. I know it's draft season. I know it's off-season rebuild season, but we are certainly going to go ahead and do whatever you guys want to see. So let me know down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.